All right, so this is the CMS training video for number 4, and basically what we're going to do in this is take it to a little bit deeper level. We're going to add some YouTube videos, and we're also going to do we're going to embed some links from Colorado PHET, the website that does tons of simulations which are interactive for the kids, which is awesome. But they also did us a favor by making the link to the simulation something you can embed, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So I went ahead and logged into CMS, and again, I apologize about me trying to videotape and talk at the same time by myself, but I think everything will work out in the end. This is a higher level. This is one of the last videos that I'll put up here, and again, I'm going to go back and show you what it looks like from the student perspective on the device, and also how to pull that data out from CMS so you can look and reflect back on your activity or your quiz. So here we go. I've typed in my e-number and all that good stuff. So here's my home page. I'm going to go over here to Assessments, and I'm going to click down to Find. Now, I've already actually gone in here and put in this test because I'm specifically going to talk about how to add some stuff to a test that's already exists. So notice what I just did was I changed it to 2017-18, and then I put in the test name ID as CMS so you can find it. I'm going to figure out how to share this with the entire campus, so it may take a little bit for me to do this, but bottom line is, here's my video. I'm going to show you guys where it's at. It is the quiz for CMS training video number 4. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take you, notice it's prompting me to make public and all this stuff because I haven't done all that yet, but we're going to get to that in just a moment. So for question number 1, some things that I want to show you is I've already gone to the website. I have played around with this simulation. So if you have a time, like let's say you have time, on Thursday I'm going to reserve the Chromebook cart, and they're going to come into my room, and we're going to manipulate a couple of variables, and we're going to get to see what happens when we make the block bigger, or perhaps we change what the block is made of. We make it out of ice, or we can make it out of aluminum. All of the things that can happen on this website are really, really interactive. I won't go into too much detail here, but what we want is this simulation inside of the CMS quiz. So I'm going to show you how to do that. What I'm going to do is close this window. I'm going to open a new one, and I'm just going to type in Colorado density, and I've already been here, so it knows what I'm looking for. What I care about from this thing is this part right here. Notice it says embed. Okay, so this website, Colorado PHET, they have done a brilliant job of making sure you can embed this stuff. So when I click on this, it's going to give me this code that they've already highlighted for me. Okay, all this source code is what I need to put into my interactive quiz on CMS. So I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to copy that source code. Then I'm going to go back to our quiz, and I'm going to go to edit because I'm going to make a couple of changes. So the source code button, and a lot of people have thought, oh man, all you gotta do is just copy and paste it into this piece here. All right, well, it didn't work that well. Last year I did that, and it came up as a gray screen that didn't allow me to actually do anything. So I went and I spoke with Mary Barrera, and now it's Lisa Armstrong, and they were like, man, what you gotta do is you gotta actually go to the source code button, which is right here. All right, it's the 2 little arrows that face different directions, and I'm sorry again about being shaky here, but I want to show you. So when you click on source code, what shows up is all the stuff that makes people get scared. All right, we don't need to get scared about this. So when you right click, now we're going to paste that source code, embed into the frame. What's nice is you can see right at the bottom here where it says height 800 and width, width 800 and height 600. I'm going to show you what that means here in a second. It's going to make the video too big for the screen, but I'm going to put it in there anyways. So at this point, the Colorado simulation is actually in our quiz, okay? But again, notice how much of the screen it takes up. A couple things you got to manage on this are, what are you trying to get the kids to do? What I'm trying to get them to do is click on where it says my block right here, and then they're going to manipulate a couple of these numbers to get the answer they're looking for. So I could stand to have this a little bit smaller. So I'm going to scroll back down to where I was, and we're going to go right back to that source code, and I'm going to change those numbers on width and height. I'm going to change them to 600 and whoops, not 6,000, 600 and 400. And you'll notice what that does is now it changes that to a little bit smaller simulation. So I have already gone and done the simulation, so I know what I want them to do. I want them to click on my block. I want them to click the space for kilograms. I want them to change it to 3.5. I want them to change the volume. All right, so I've done all these things already, so there's a distinct answer that I'm looking for. And so all we have to do now is we can just kind of leave it alone and hit save. And right over here in the bottom corner, like we would normally do. So we're going to click save. And now that simulation is embedded into our question. And I'm going to show you what that looks like from the student screen here in just a moment. The next thing we're going to talk about is how to embed a YouTube video. I'm going to do this two different ways. The first way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to skip to question 3. And again, I've already made these short videos. They were kind of just quick and they weren't real specific to anything. I just wanted to make sure I had a video that were related to density, so the quality of them isn't that great, but that's neither here nor there. So what I want you to do is notice I've clicked down, and what we're going to do is go back to the source code. All right, so we have to enter in the embed code for the YouTube video. So I've opened my YouTube page, and when you click on it, all you gotta do is go over here to my channel, and this is the video that we want to add. This particular video right here, which is the CMS density video, and it talks about how to calculate different, how to look at the density formula from different viewpoints. So the triangle, using the backslash method, things that 6th graders have a real hard time with. So what I want out of this whole thing is the source code for the embed link. So where do you find that? You right click on the video for YouTube, and there it is right there, copy embed code. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. But that's what I care about. I want the embed code. So I'm going to click on that. Sorry, I'm going to copy the embed code here, and I'm going to go back to the CMS video, and I'm going to just paste it in. Again, notice a couple of things. Height 854, width 854, height 480. That is a really big video. So I'm going to go ahead and change that now back to 600 and 400. You'll get a little bit better at sizing stuff as things go along. You don't have to do this as much now with images because they made the CMS program a little more friendly, but bottom line is you embed that into the video, you embed that link into the source code, and now your video is actually in the question. So my question tells them, watch the video, then answer the following question: what is the correct formula for density? So students will take and they will literally listen and watch this video on their device, a Chromebook, or perhaps at the on a desktop in the computer lab, and then they're going to answer the questions down here. Again, this will be on their device, and I'll show you what that looks like from the student perspective here shortly. So we want to save this one. The last thing that I want to show you with this particular setup is, what if you find a really cool video like a Khan Academy video, and I know a lot of this is centered around science, but there's tons of videos out there. I mean, if you were the theater teacher and there was something you wanted to really show them, but you only needed like a 30-second window of that video, I'm going to show you how to do that on question 2. So this question asks, when a small fishing lure is placed into the graduated cylinder, the volume of the water in the cylinder changes. To calculate the volume of the fishing lure using the water displacement method. Now again, I made a video for this, so we're going to embed. Notice I clicked down, which makes it a nice little area for them to put, for me to put the video. So I'm going to go back to my YouTube account. I'm going to click on my channel, and this is the video that we're going to put in. Right, it says right there, CMS irregular object density. So this is my video. I'm going to click on it. And what we want again is we want the embed code. So right click, copy embed code. We're going to go right back to our CMS. We're going to click on source code here, and then we are going to right click and we're going to paste the source code in there. Again, I'm going to change the width to 600 and the height to 400, and I'm going to show you that the video is now, whoops, that's 440. I'm going to show you the video is now in here, but let's just say I want to clip this down, and just for argument's sake, what we're going to do is clip it to 45 seconds to a minute and 15 seconds. Well, YouTube doesn't see things that way. YouTube sees it as 45 seconds to 75 seconds. All right, so this is what we want right here, 45-second mark to 75 seconds. So I'm going to show you what this means and how we're going to change. You got to go back to the source code. And notice on the actual YouTube link, all right, this is what's important is, and this is going to take me a second, so bear with me because it's been a little bit since I've done this, but when you're looking right here, I'm going to zoom in just enough. There's a lot of stuff going on there. The first thing is right here, it says iframe SRC equals, and then notice the quotation marks. when you're looking at those quotation marks, that's what you really have to pay attention to, because this piece up here that's inside the quotation marks is the actual link, the actual URL that you would find at the top of your screen. So what we want to do is specify some stuff to that particular code there. So what we want to say here is we want to go to the very end, right there where I'm at, where it's blinking by that U. And we're going to put a question mark there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to type in this small piece. And again, bear with me a little bit if you would, because I'm trying to do this where you guys can't actually see. I'm using my iPhone to do this. So I'm going to type in start, and I'm going to give it a start time. Well, when did we want it to start? We wanted it to start at the 45-second mark. And then what we're going to do is we want to add a couple of other things here. You have to add an ampersand, and then AMP, and then a semicolon, then end. We want it to end when? At the 75-second mark. And we're going to add the the ampersand again, and then AMP, and then version 3 equals 3. All right, now I can tell you one thing. I have no idea why you have to do that, but what I can tell you is I searched a lot of websites and YouTube videos to learn that. I don't know what version 2 is. I don't know what version 1 looks like. But what I can tell you is if you copy that like this, and then you just paste it into each one of your questions, and all you gotta do is change the seconds, it makes your life a whole lot easier. But from what you'll notice when the students get an opportunity here in a moment when I show you, is that you're gonna be able to see what it looks like on their end, and it's gonna just chop out everything else. When they hit play, it's gonna start from that 45-second mark, which is really cool, and it's gonna stop the video at the 75-second mark. And so it really gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to just putting in something that you want the students to see, because Khan Academy is a great example of a website that has just some super cool stuff. The only drawback to it is some of those videos are 10, 15 minutes long. Well, obviously you don't want a 10-minute video inside of a test or a quiz. So if you learn how to chop that down, it makes life a lot easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and then I'm gonna jump back here for just a quick moment. And oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so now what we have is our video for question number 3, we have our video for question number 2, and then we have our simulation for number 3. So what we're gonna do at this point is I'm gonna go ahead and save it like I normally would. We're gonna return to test details up here at the top. And I'm going to go ahead and walk through all the steps again that you guys should be pretty familiar with. Make it public, share it, and all that. And then I'm going to come back in just a second and show you what it looks like from the student perspective on their device. And I'll be using my iPad for that. So we'll come back here in just a second. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about this. I know it seems ultra complicated, but it does have its value in class, especially if you're trying to take things to a deeper level with simulations and student interactive quizzes.